Live this evening, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Congress spokesperson. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Singhvi. How long will you continue to look the other way, you as in the government? Obviously, advice to the government comes from the party. A few hundred meters away from you, there are mass congregations happening. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, is the government seeing this?
I don't know if you're wrong on all the three counts. I'm a human being first. I'm a MP second. I'm a Congress spokesperson third. I'm a chairman of the standing committee fourth. In all these capacities, I'm as enthused as you are by these crowds against anti-corruption. It just shows that the anti-corruption, quite rightly, is infectious. And do you for a minute doubt that any of us are less concerned about the scourge of corruption?
My question to you is...
I think,
my question is,
barring the fact...
My question is, Dr. Singhvi...
One second, Arnav, one second. Barring the fact that this media hype may make it difficult for us to go there, I'd be quite happy to go to Ramlila and say that, yes, I stand as much for anti-corruption as they do. Actually, the object is the same, identical, the uddesha is the same. There's a slight difference of the methodology and the journey, and that too is not too large.
Dr. Singhvi, let us put things in perspective tonight.
We are on the same page.
Let us put things in perspective tonight.
Yes.
Fact is, Dr. Singhvi, that this has been provoked by something. And what is being provoked by today is not what Congress leaders were saying, some foreign powers, some political parties, media hype, as you say. This has been provoked by institutionalized corruption. And today the government has to be seen to be responding. If Anna Hazare's fast enters week 2, these crowds are not going to fizzle out. They will grow. Surely you must be concerned about that.
Can I answer or not?
Sure. Please go ahead.
Did I use the word foreign hand, foreign power?
But some people have used it.
Did I say anything about the past?
Some people have used it.
Secondly, tell me which government in 60 years has done more? We have involved them only because we believe in the sensitivity of their view. Do you think we would have involved them in the joint drafting committee, an unprecedented act, without being sensitive to this view?
Then why are you hiding behind the technicality?
One second, let me complete. Arnav, let me finish, please. And after that, possibly 50% or 45% or 40% of their views are in the government bill. Secondly, suppose the standing committee accepts 30-40% more of their vieys. Can I say yes or can I say no today? Can you say no or yes? Why
sure. Now here's a question. Here's a question.
And then finally, one aspect which you haven't noticed perhaps. Finally, after the joint drafting committee, after the government version, after the standing committee, it goes into parliament. Another 10-20% can change on the floor of parliament by moving an amendment while the bill is being enacted.
Sir, you tell me.
They end up with 70%
sir, you tell me, sir. Dr. Singhvi, please tell me, sir.
What less has been done?
Sir, I'm not questioning.
The only problem, Arnav, is that you might expect instant coffee.
So I don't expect instant coffee.
There is no magic
sir,
I think tomorrow.
No, sir,
I think it will happen.
I think that is a wrong comment. I don't expect instant coffee, and the people of this country also don't expect instant coffee. I appreciate, and everyone appreciates, there are established procedures and no one is questioning that. Fact of the matter is, these are unprecedented circumstances, Dr. Singhvi. The standing committee is given 3 months to submit its report. The advertisement you put out for feedback on the bill gives, if I am not mistaken, a 15-day time limit. Don't you think, Dr. Singhvi, these luxurious time limits, these luxurious time frames give out the perception that there is a lack of urgency in getting this bill passed? Don't you think this fuels the perception that the government is trying to buy time, and hence, with all respect to the standing committee you are ahead of, that's a smokescreen? You need to act with greater urgency.
Can I respond? See, you need to give me a few minutes to clear the perspective. You asked a good question, now wait for a comprehensive answer. Standing committees are the backbone, Rajdeep, of the parliamentary system. They exist for hundreds of years in England. Standing committees for decades start their proceedings with advertisement. You tell me one thing. How can you tilt at windmills? How can you see a conspiracy lurking in every bush by imagining that an ad is dangerous? Can I invite views of all sections without an advertisement? And every standing committee seeks an extension. Does it beyond 3 months? Within
Dr.
6 months?
Singhvi.
We are confident of not going. 1 minute. We are confident of not going beyond our initial allotted time limit. If I was to do is in a telescope manner, what you call luxurious time limits, if I was to do the entire report with my committee within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, you would be the first to chastise us as a perfunctory job,
tell me,
a
Dr.
casual
Singhvi.
job,
No, then tell me, Dr.
job,
Singhvi.
and
Dr.
without application of mine.
Dr. Singhvi. Dr. Singhvi, before you say things and before you put words in my mouth, let me ask you, Dr. Singhvi, honestly tell me, you say you have flexibility and nothing which comes to the standing committee is final word, right? You're saying that?
Why?
No, you're saying that? You're saying that?
I want to make one thing very clear.
You are saying that? It's not the final word?
Let me answer. Why is it that you are so pessimistic? Why?
So I'm not, I'm optimistic, but I have something to ask you.
1 second. Please let me speak. I am asking you one question. Why don't you give us a chance to prove all the cynics wrong, to surprise the skeptics, to surprise ourselves?
Sir, please answer one simple question.
On what basis do you say that?
I must say this, Dr. Singhvi. I must say this first of all. I must say this, that you are far more reasonable a voice than many of the voices that we have heard, even from your government and from the party. And I'm telling you that on your face. But tonight, let me ask you something specific.
Let me ask you
something, Dr. Singhvi,
I am genuinely going to strain every sinew in my body to ensure that we see every point of view and arrive at a good decision. There is no question of brushing aside any view.
Well, here's a question. Unless it is a question of political ego, why don't you introduce the Jan Lokpal in front of the standing committee? Then make the changes to the Jan Lokpal instead of introducing the government draft and making amendments. Does it matter which draft you bring in as the draft on the basis of which you make amendments? Dr. Singhvi.
Please speak again. Yes, let me explain.
Dr. Singhvi, you can, if you want.
Now you see, let me tell you one thing. When I speak, I must tell you one thing. Do you agree that as you speak to me, Arnab, outside my house, there appears to be suddenly appearing a big procession, shouting slogans. You can hear them. This is the first time I have heard them, but suddenly they have come. I don't know what they are shouting. I just want to apprise you of that. Number one, I don't think that if civil society wants to deaden the voices of others who are trying to work out a solution, I don't think it's a good sign. It is intolerance. Let me again now add another thing. This committee has got various inputs, including a Jan Lokpal bill. The committee can make 5% changes to the recommendation, recommend 5% changes, recommend 50% changes, recommend 100% changes. Now, if they recommend more changes, it is obvious that we are changing the draft of the bill structurally. If we recommend less changes, we are making milder changes. In either event, we are entitled to make any number of changes we want. So there is nothing about Jan Lokpal versus non-Jan Lokpal.
Sir, what is the way out, Dr. Singhvi? There has to be a resolution now. There has to be at some point a resolution.
We are
a peaceful resolution.
Let me repeat, Arnab, I am convinced that the differences are on 5-6 issues. There is nothing major. Those differences can be sorted out by interacting and giving it little bit of time. It's only little bit of time, not much. The problem is that people are saying, and the people who are at Ramla Vedan are saying, we want a solution, if not this week, the following week. If not the following week, the next week. I'm asking you, if this bill is introduced as promised in monsoon, and as promised it is converted by adding or subtracting or whatever within 2 months and presented in monsoon in the winter session, is it not one of the most fast-track bills ever?
Dr. Singhvi, one last question. Is it possible, I'm just saying towards a peaceful resolution, is it possible for the government to take one step back and go across and reach out to Anna and say, we will restart the process of negotiations from ground zero to arrive at a common purpose? Maybe that is a step.
Answer that question. That question I cannot answer. That question you have to ask the government. All I can say is that the very same exercise more comprehensively can be conducted at the negotiating forum of the standing committee. Because the standing committee, all issues, all clauses, all suggestions are open. But yes, it will take a little bit of time, and that time is inconsequential if we get the bill through, whichever form, by the winter session.
Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, thank you for joining me. We await a peaceful resolution to the circumstances that this nation is in. This is not a movement that's going to fizzle out, and it must be said, this is not just, as some are saying, mania. It's far more than that. It's demeaning to call this mania.